Today we are going to be baking cinnamon babka bread recipe, which turns out tender, soft and very flavorful because we are going to be adding in some cinnamon filling. I absolutely love adding in cinnamon to my pastries because it's a warm spice and very flavorful. Serve your cinnamon babka bread while still warm and it will be so good. This is going to be your next favorite bread recipe because it's awesome and so delicious. So into your mixing bowl, you're going to be adding in your dry ingredients and you're going to find in everything listed in the description box in the right quantity. So I'm going to add in my flour, add in sugar, 10 grams of instant yeast and salt. I'm going to whisk in my ingredients until fully combined. Then next I'm going to be adding in my wet ingredients. I'm going to add in some melted margarine, crack in an egg, add in some lukewarm milk. Then I'm going to go in with a spoon and mix in all the ingredients until a shaggy dough is formed. The milk should be at room temperature. If you use cold milk, the yeast is not going to rise, and if you use hot milk, the hot milk is going to kill the yeast. So always go for room temperature milk or lukewarm. The sugar is going to sweeten the bread while the salt is going to balance out the sweetness of the bread. So once a dough is formed, you're going to transfer to your working surface. Next, you're going to knead your dough for around 3 to 4 minutes until it's soft and elastic. So as you're kneading, you're going to pull the dough so that you can activate the glutens in the flour. You need a lot of muscle at this point, but if you have a stand mixer, you're going to add in all the ingredients and then you're going to knead for around 3 to 5 minutes until the dough is soft and elastic. You can see the dough is a little bit sticky, but after around 4 minutes of kneading the dough, it's not going to be sticky. It's going to be very soft. If you're not going to be using measuring cups to measure your ingredients, and maybe you've added in more milk to your flour and it's very sticky, sprinkle in with a little bit of flour so that you can get the perfect dough. And if you've added in a lot of all-purpose flour, add in a tablespoon of milk at a time until you get the perfect dough. So this is after 3 minutes and my dough is getting very soft and elastic. So I'm going to proceed to the next step, that is resting the dough so that it can double up in size. So I'm going to chuck my dough in the bottom just like this. Then I'm going to transfer into my bowl. Cover with a kitchen towel or a cling film and let the dough rest for around 30 minutes to 1 hour. And because it's super sunny, that means that my kitchen is warm. This is going to take around 30 minutes and my dough will be ready to make my delicious bread. My dough is ready and I'm going to be making my cinnamon filling. So in a small bowl, you're going to add in half a cup of brown sugar. If you don't have brown sugar, you can use granulated sugar. It will work as well. Then I'm going to add in half a cup of margarine, and then I'm going to be adding in 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Using a spoon, I'm going to combine my cinnamon, sugar and margarine until fully combined. If you have butter, you can use that as well. When the cinnamon filling is ready, you're going to put aside, then you're going to prep up a baking tin with parchment paper and also spray the tin. This is a 1 kg baking tin that I'm using to make my bread. So I'm going to place aside When your dough has doubled up in size, you're going to punch in the middle to remove the excess air pockets in the dough. Then you're going to transfer to your countertop. So I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of flour to my working surface. Knead for around a minute until the dough is soft. Then I'm going to be rolling out my dough into a big rectangle. So I'm going to make sure my working surface and rolling pin are well floured. Then I'm going to carefully push my dough. Because the dough is soft, it's going to be very easy for you to push the dough with no effort. Working with this takes a little bit of your time, but once the dough has doubled up in size, it's going to be very easy for you to make your bread. Now I'm going to spread my cinnamon filling. So I'm going to carefully transfer on my dough. The cinnamon filling smells so good. Using your palette knife, you're going to spread the cinnamon filling on your dough, making sure to go to the edges. And once done, you're going to tightly roll your dough into a log. Then using a sharp knife, you're going to cut the dough in the middle, or cut the dough in half, just like this. Make sure you cut all the way to the bottom of the log. Next, you're going to twist your dough by lifting the top one and placing it on top. Then you're going to separate the dough just like this so that it can be easy for you to twist. Place the other one on top and repeat until you're done twisting your dough. Next, you're going to pick your baking tin and carefully transfer your dough in. Then you're going to cover and let the dough rest for around 20 minutes. And in the 10th minute, you're going to preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. After 20 minutes, your dough will have doubled up in size again. Now you're going to set your timer at 180 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. When my cinnamon babka bread is baking, I'm going to be making a syrup for coating my delicious bread. So over medium flame, I'm going to add in half a cup of water, add in sugar. Then I'm going to stir in the sugar until it's dissolved. Cook the syrup for around 2 to 3 minutes until it's a little bit thick. After 3 minutes, you're going to put out the flame and wait for the syrup to cool as the bread is baking. Wow! When your bread is ready, it's going to be looking so good and delicious. Just look at my babka bread. Yeah, I'm super excited. So immediately you remove the bread from the oven, you're going to brush with your sugar syrup. This is to add in a very nice glossy look to your bread and also to add some sweetness to the bread. Once done with the syrup, you're going to be resting the bread in the tin for around 10 minutes so that it can be easier for you to transfer the bread on a plate and serve. And after 10 minutes, you're going to invert your cinnamon babka bread on a cooling rack so that it can cool completely or cool until warm so that you can serve for your family. So this is a very easy bread recipe that turns out so good, flavorful, and delicious. Hope you'll be giving the recipe a try.